Good evening. My name is AnselFrancis. I am about to recite a speech called The Assassination of Martin Luther King. It was delivered by Robert F. Kennedy. Amid the assassination of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., April 4, 1968, marked an extraordinary day in U.S. political history as Robert F. Kennedy, younger brother of slain President John F. Kennedy, broke the news to a large gathering of African Americans in Indianapolis, Indiana. Although he was told by the police to not deliver the message, he insisted on doing so. And this is what I liked about the speech, and I'm about to do justice to it. However, 2 months after he delivered his speech, Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm only going to talk to you just for a minute or so this evening, because I have some very sad news for all of you. I think sad news for all of our fellow citizens and people who love peace all over the world, and that is that Dr. Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis, Tennessee. Martin Luther King dedicated his life to love and to justice between fellow human beings. He died in the cause of that effort. In this difficult day, in this difficult time for the United States, it's perhaps well to ask what kind of a nation we are and what direction we want to move in. For those of you who are black, considering the evidence evidently is that they were white people who were responsible. You can be filled with hatred, with bitterness, and a desire for revenge. We can move in that direction as a country, in greater polarization. Black people amongst blacks, white amongst whites, filled with hatred towards one another. Or we can make an effort, as Martin Luther King did, to understand and to comprehend and to replace that violence, that stain of bloodshed that has spread across our land with an effort to understand compassion and love. For those of you who are black and are tempted to be filled with hatred and mistrust of the injustice of such an act against white people, I would only say that I can also feel in my own heart that same kind of a feeling. I had a member of my family killed, but he was killed by a white man. But we have to make an effort in the United States. We have to make an effort to understand, to get beyond these rather difficult times. My favorite poet was Achilles. He once wrote, "Even in our sleep, pain which we cannot forget falls drop by drop upon the heart, until in our own despair, against our will, comes wisdom through the awful grace of God." What we need in the United States is not division. What we need in the United States is not hatred. What we need in the United States is not violence and lawlessness, but is love and compassion and wisdom towards one another, and a feeling of justice for those who still suffer within our country, whether they be white or whether they be black. So I ask you tonight to return home, to say a prayer for the family of Martin Luther King. Yeah, that's true. But most importantly, to say a prayer for our country, which all of us love. A prayer for understanding and that compassion which I spoke. We can do well in this country. We'll have difficult times. We've had difficult times in the past, and we'll have difficult times in the future. It is not the end of violence. It is not the end of lawlessness, and it's not the end of disorder. But the vast majority of black people and the vast majority of white people in this country want to live together, want to improve the quality of life, and want a feeling of justice for those who abide in our land. Let us dedicate ourselves to what the Greek wrote so many years ago. To tame the savageness of man and make gentle the life of this world. Let us dedicate ourselves to that and to say a prayer for our country and for our people. Thank you very much.